few weeks ago, I shared a video on how I landed my very first GoHighLevel client. And honestly, that one client changed everything for me. It made me realize that making money online wasn't some imaginary thing, but if you put in some hard work, that it could actually happen. Now, what most people don't know is what happened next. And that's exactly what I'm gonna break down in this video today. How I went from my first client to my first 5K a month. So we're gonna go through this step by step. I'll show you the behind the scenes on how I found my next clients, how I reinvested everything back into the business to scale faster, and how eventually I built a small team to help me run the day-to-day of the business so I could continue to focus on growth. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Now, before we get into scaling, I want to give a quick recap of the 4-step system that helped me land my first client, because this foundation is what built everything that came after. So first off, let's talk about the mindset that you need to have, because that video that I posted about how I landed my first client has done really well compared to my other videos. And I think the reason being is because it shows the real story behind starting a business online. So many of these gurus paint this picture of it's super easy to do and within 2 weeks you're gonna be at 50K a month. But it takes a lot of hard work. So if you're dedicated and you're willing to do it, good things will happen. So step 1 was finding leads. When I first started off, I found leads manually. Now I did this in a variety of ways, but some of the ways included using Google Maps and free lead scrapers that I found online, Facebook groups, and even using things like LinkedIn and Instagram and other social channels to find people to reach out to. I looked for businesses that weren't advertising or were advertising and they clearly needed help. Things like missing call to actions, bad ad creatives, or bad websites. I went in there, showed them the problem that I could solve, and good things happened. Now, step 2 was actually reaching out. Now, this included building a really good front end and back end system that would be going every single day to keep outreach consistent to land consistent meetings with people. Now, the question that I would always ask myself when it came to reaching out was, would I reply to this if someone sent this to me? And if the answer was no, then I didn't send it. So many people are bombarded with sales emails, sales calls every single day. You have to learn how to stand out. And you stand out by step 3, which is showing value. If someone replied to me and agreed to get on a meeting, I didn't pitch. I showed. I'd film personalized videos, come to the meetings prepared with example ad templates that I've created for their business already, and even example websites so that they could understand what value I could bring to their business. And finally, that leads me to step 4, which is close and deliver fast. Those first 2 to 3 business days with your new client are so crucial. If you can deliver results to them fast, whether it's a few leads that come into their new business, delivering a really well-built website to them, or any other offer that you're giving, it builds trust. So if you want to go more in depth in that 4-step system, you can go check out that video on my channel, or I have a free course down below in the description that you can go through, and I go really in depth in each one of those 4 steps so you can get a better idea on how you can implement it in your day-to-day. So now let's move on and talk about actually scaling your GoHighLevel business. Now, once I had a few clients coming in and a little bit of revenue, I made a decision. I wasn't going to cash out. I was going to reinvest every dollar that I made back into the business. So the first step to that was running paid ads. Because I'll tell you what, it's a lot nicer to have an inbound lead that's already warmed up for you versus doing cold outreach every single day. Now, I didn't go crazy. I started with about $500 a month in ad spend, and then I slowly ramped up from there. And then because I was using this great tool called GoHighLevel, I had all my automations built out. So any single time that a lead came in, we were following up on that lead immediately. Now, this one move helped me so much when it came to getting warm leads every single week. And although your outbound motions are very, very important still, this helped me shift my focus a lot more on improving my offer versus just chasing people. And at the same time that you're improving your offer, you can also improve the automations around your outbound system. So things started to get really dialed in, which led to step 2 of scaling my business, which was hiring a VA. Now, if you don't know what a VA is, a VA stands for virtual assistant. And there are so many great websites out there that can help you find a really good VA like Upwork and Fiverr. Now, the type of agency that I ran was a done-for-you ads agency that combined GoHighLevel's automations to help follow up with leads and warm transfer them to the front desks of the clinics that I was working with. So with my first few clients, I was doing all the work when it came to the follow-up with the leads that we were getting for each of those clients. So as I was continuing to try to scale my business and land new meetings, I was also taking care of the day-to-day functions with those clients. And as leads were consistently coming in with all of these different clients, I just realized that this was becoming a really big bottleneck. So my VA came in and saved the day. She took over all the work when it came to the lead follow-ups for our business and then also for the clients that we were serving. Along with our GoHighLevel automations that were following up with these leads, she would call, she would qualify, and she would warm transfer to their front desks to make sure that they were quality leads that would actually come in for their appointments. And since I was able to get rid of this bottleneck, I could then focus again on growing the business and landing new clients. All right, after my VA was in place, I moved on to step 3, which was hiring a creative designer. Because again, when you're starting a business, you're usually a one-person show. So even though my VA was doing all the lead follow-up for me, I was still creating all of the ads for my own business and also for the clients that we were serving. And even though the ads were working, I know we could probably do better. So like I said, I hired a creative designer. They helped me create clean, consistent branding. They helped with all of the ad creatives for the different client requests that were coming in every single month. And it helped free up my time to focus on strategy instead of making design tweaks here and there. All right, and now that we had our team built out, the final step was automating our onboarding processes to make sure that our clients had really good experiences when they first signed up with us, because you can sign as many clients as you want, but if they churn really quickly, you're probably not going to have a very scalable business. So for this next part, I'm actually going to jump into HighLevel so you can get a sneak peek on how we built out our onboarding training center for every single client that came into our system. All right, so just to give you a quick preview of what this looked like, when they logged into our HighLevel instance, so we were white labeled as Smile Pro Marketing at the time, now we're called So Simply, we would have this full built out training center for every single client. So they had the option to book an onboarding call with us if needed, but they could go through all of these different sections and videos in order to make sure that they were trained up on how to use the system, what the expectations were for the services, and anything else that they needed within the HighLevel platform. Now, another pro tip for you, this was a great opportunity to upsell services along the way, because when I first got started, we were focused around a done-for-you ad agency that would combine ads but also with GoHighLevel automations, right? So what was the one thing that would make it better? Because at the time, everyone was just running ads and would deliver these lead lists with really low quality leads. So what we did is we combined that with GoHighLevel automations, following up with them and warm transferring them to their front desk so they were qualified and ready to go to actually book an appointment. But when they would go through this training center and learn how to set up their phone number and connect their email and their domain services within the HighLevel platform, you'll see here that there's buttons on how to set up your AI chatbot. There's buttons on websites and automation builders. And what this would give them the opportunity to do is in the training center, they could go in and explore these different services and say, hey, that AI chatbot actually looks really neat. Can we add that to my website? Oh yeah, sure, no problem. We'll go ahead and make sure that we add that in. And on top of the ads that we're running for you, that will be able to capture inbound leads that are coming to your website that you might be missing. So a great opportunity to make some more revenue there. But the other thing that we have here is our onboarding course. And what we would do is we would film videos that were in depth on how to use every single piece of the HighLevel platform, or our version, which was So Simply. So calendars, payments, opportunities, dashboards, automations, building websites and funnels, marketing, reputation management, and everything else in between. Now, again, the reason was because this would make our clients sticky. We would sign them up on the vision of running ads for them, building automations, having those warm transfers right to their front desk, but they would stay because they would get in here and go, oh, wait, I can cancel my emailing services because I can just do it through here. Oh, wait, I pay for reputation management. I can just run all my automations for reputation management through here. So over time, it would make the clients a lot more sticky. So anyway, I hope that paints a picture for you on how you can automate your onboarding and make clients stickier along the way. Now, with all of my affiliates that sign up with the link below for the free trial of GoHighLevel, I actually give them this whole training center over to them in my snapshot. So as I always say, if you want a much quicker start than what I had in the beginning, if you sign up using that link below, I'll send this over to you. And along with all my automations and templates, you'll have this whole training center available to you as well. So again, you can go in, make some tweaks, make some edits, but it's not going to be a huge overhaul to build this training center out for yourself. All right, so that's how I did it. That's how I got to my first 5K a month with clients on GoHighLevel. And again, I want to be really clear, that wasn't overnight. It takes a lot of hard work, but if you put in consistent effort every single day, building one system at a time, it will eventually click. So I hope you found that helpful. And once again, I have some free resources for you down in the description below. I have a completely free course that goes in depth on how to build your agency from the ground up. We have a free Skool community that we come together, talk about tips, talk about wins for the week, and you can actually interact with other people that are building agencies from the ground up as well. And finally, I have my free trial of the GoHighLevel platform that you can sign up for in the description below. And when you sign up using that link, once again, I will send over my snapshot so you get all my automations, my templates, my training center, and everything else in between to help you get a much faster start than what I had in the beginning. Now, because we give all this content away for free, all I ask is that you leave a like, you leave a comment on this video if you found it helpful, and please subscribe to the channel because it really helps us grow. And with that, we'll see you in the next video.